different, and support whatever you want to do, and let the money that you make here do that for you. Okay, so Clifton, good morning. Mark O, good morning. Yep, saw that. Got them all listed here this morning. Christian, good morning. Yep, Steve C, good morning. Seth, good morning. CRWV, we'll put that up here. CRWV, let me go up here. CRWV. Okay, yep, good call here this morning. 107. I'll watch it now. Justin, thank you for posting a lot of the same ones that I've got up as well. That's great. Great minds think alike. Brian, good morning. Lee, good morning. Divide, good morning. DVG, good morning. Jay, good morning. And Clifton, good morning and great morning to you. Let's talk some stocks here this morning. First post I'm going to have is APLD. APLD, oops, let me get back here. Repost, and there we go. Okay, APLD long this morning. That'll be over 43. So we'll see if it pulls back. A lot of these stocks I'd like to see pull back, and then we could jump on the bandwagon here. QUBT also this morning. QUBT long this morning, and that's going to be over the 1050 mark. So these stocks here, I'd love to see a quick pullback here, the snap, and then load up and then run them higher, adding to them. Also this morning, Rigetti RGTI. This morning, Rigetti over 19. We're going to take a look at that stock there and see what 19 means to the trade. Walmart this morning under 126. That'll be my only short post here this morning. WMT short under 126. Any rise to that stock there? We'll talk about that here in just a minute. And then last but not least, IONQ. So IONQ long over 55, is it? Yeah, IONQ long over 55. I'm also watching this morning QBTS, which looks really good over 22, and CRWV, Google this morning, NVIDIA, and Rocket Lab. So what I'll try to do is I'll try to fit the QBTS trade. I'll just keep it here, but understand I'm watching the trade. Okay, so now let's go back to Walmart here and figure out, okay, if you go to the daily, okay, what does the 125 mean? Well, 125 under that opens up to 120, which has got some support here. So I think, in my opinion, you get anything above this 125 area to short, and Walmart comes in slipping 2%. They were issued worse than expected outlook for the full year and its current quarter. Walmart expects adjusted earnings per share to be between $2.75 and $2.85, lower than expectations of $2.91. The first quarter adjusted EPS was in line with expectation, while its revenue topped estimates. So good revenue, but outlook not good. Okay, and then you've got all the quantum stocks surging this morning as the U.S. government plans to award $2 billion grants in 9 firms. The deal also included government equity stakes. The report said Rigetti Computing, D-Wave, Quantum Computing, IBM, Global Foundries, so on and so forth. So all of those are in play this morning, okay? So that's about it this morning. I've got Justin here, DVG, maybe some comments from both of you as we're going forward, what you're looking at and what would be something that really triggers you this morning as far as going long or short.
Hey, good morning, 44 Trade Nation. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning.
I guess you mentioned quite a few things, especially on the quantum side of the house. I'll be keeping a close eye on that, and also names like NBIS and CRWV. But one that's a little bit more interesting is Intuit. I mean, they basically beat top and bottom, had arguably one of the best quarterly reports they've ever had, and guided higher. Meanwhile, the stock is down almost 20%. So I'm going to be looking to see what happens with Intuit this morning as we're approaching almost like, I'm not going to say historic lows. It's still a $300 stock, but do we see that continue to aim lower? Is that going to be another victim to AI, or are we going to find some footing in this 310 area? So maybe an opportunity to buy the dip, maybe an opportunity to just wait for the 300 print, but it is a pretty aggressive sell-off for an incredible earnings update. Those will be kind of what I have on watch. And of course, NVIDIA, right? Blowout earnings, no surprise there. They just continue to improve margins and improve sales. I mean, they're the company to beat. So I'm keeping an eye to see if NVIDIA gets some continuation either to the upside, or if you look historically, a lot of times after earnings, people will bank some profits and we'll see a pretty, maybe a light pullback in that name or a rip. We'll see. So keeping an eye on that, not really aggressively trying to make a decision this morning, maybe on my favorite name in the quantum space, IonQ. Back to you, Scott.
Yeah, a couple of things there. The Applied Digital, the APLD trade here that I'm looking at, data center company jumped 10% on the back of an announcement that it had entered a long-term lease agreement with a U.S.-based high investment grade hyperscaler. And then to DVG's point on the Intuit, headline news is it sank 14% after the financial software company announced a 17% workforce cut. Intuit also missed analyst expectations for revenue in the third quarter, posting 8.56 billion against the an LSEG consensus forecast of 8.61. So, okay, we'll see how that runs out here. Walmart also looking at short here, and then QBTS long, CRWV long, NVDA long this morning. We'll watch to see how the market opens up here. We're supposed to open up almost 200 points down. So we'll see if that catches any of these highlighted names here that I'm looking at, and we'll have a reason to go long. Here's the opening bell, traders. Let's have an incredible Thursday morning here.
Good luck, traders. By the way, I don't know if any of you guys were watching the longer term swing on CEG. It looks good this morning. We were nibbling on it down at like 260, 259. Initial starting position was 270, so could be a longer term swing here. Watching NVIDIA appear 221. Might be a short or long, we'll see. And then Intuit, I'm tempted to nibble down here. I wanted to break 310 with some force and then maybe pick some up to the upside. So keep an eye on that.
Okay, Rigetti moving here.
All right, I like NVIDIA, guys. We'll nibble to the downside here for a subtle pullback. Okay. 220.86. Random number. There's that bounce on Intuit, 3 points. I don't know where, but let's wait.
CRWV flushing this morning with the market.
I'm going to add the NVIDIA short here in a bit. I don't mind a little bounce. Intuit, though, maybe if it comes back to 310 print, I'll nibble. It's a pretty violent sell-off. It's a bit of a contrarian trade for sure, but
okay, IonQ looking interesting.
yeah, QBTS is a decent mover this morning.
Yep.
All right, NVIDIA maybe not.
Almost 23. Feel like I missed the move on APLD. Let's wait to see what this market does here at the open.
Okay, I'm going to dump NVIDIA. No big deal. Small position. Well, how big move on NVIDIA now? Okay, Intuit just broke 310. I like it. So keep an eye on this thing. Let's see where it bottoms out. Maybe 310 is the magic number. All right, let's do it. Nibble. Actually, we'll do 100 shares here into it.
Right at the 310.
Yeah. And INTU, long 310.
CRWD spike, okay.
NVIDIA is going straight up now.
Walmart would have been great right at the start there to getting that short. Okay, any pullback on Rigetti? I think I'm going to come into this stock here. Maybe the QBTS trade as well. First candle here right out of the chute is higher. Market starting to turn a little bit to the upside.
Tesla looking good here. NVIDIA going straight up now.
No trades for me so far. Yeah, NVDA rocket ship, wow.
A little concerned about CoreWeave here.
Yeah, under 104 looks good, right?
Yeah. Either it's going to stop or drop on that move there.
So now we wait for the pullback on QUBT, Rigetti, APLD, where you're going to be forced to short the breakout here, perhaps. Don't like to do that with a stock that's running like that, but
Maybe a second chance here on NVIDIA. I don't know. Looks pretty good to maybe break out even higher, but I don't know. Buyer exhaustion, maybe? Or is this a can't go lower market? Feels like that. Look at IonQ. Here we go. I'm going to go half share size into it. I'm looking for like an 8-point hop. Let's see if we get it. Well, maybe we won't do that. We'll do a quarter. Quarter share size on. Into it. There goes CRWV. NBIS, maybe, hold on.
maybe we get a pullback now.
Yeah, NBIS and NVIDIA. I really want to short NVIDIA again, but not because I don't like it or whatever. I mean, they had amazing earnings. It's just how much of it was priced in. Who knows? All-time highs at 236.54 for NVIDIA. So can it rip another 12 points? Absolutely, especially after that earnings call. Watching NBIS now instead of CRWV. I might go full share size short NBIS, guys. Into it, that sucks. Move lower. Well, I'll wait. 214 if I can get it on NBIS. It's just shaping up nicely, potentially for a breakout. That actually looks like a a Scott breakout chart. I won't short that. That looks like a rocket launch platform ready to happen. If it fails up there, it'll probably roll over, but it's building up some steam up there.
Okay, these pullbacks happening now. Let's see if we can get into some of these.
NBIS, guys.
I'm thinking NVDA, you know?
Long? At
Long,
closer?
yeah.
I
On
wanted,
this
I wanted to
pullback.
short it when it was up there 225, 227. I got hit already, even though it was a small share size. Into it, guys. Might have to dump.
I'm only go long on NVDA at pre-market lows. Scott, if it retests pre-market low, that's where I'd go long.
Where are you thinking? 221 or so? Or?
I'd say 220.50, 220.40.
Okay, let's see if it rolls down now.
But just watch. There's a lot of open interest traps. There's a lot of open interest at 215. So it could flush down to some profit taking all the way down to 216.34, maybe even to 215. So just watch that.
Yeah. Okay.
Gamma magnets.
Yeah, 216 is all the trouble is that got tested throughout the earnings session on that call. I don't know if Christian's out there, but hopefully you guys are doing a little bit of that analysis on the expected move on NVIDIA.
Also bearing in mind, NVIDIA lost 50% of its China business and still had, 85% revenues?
I was going to take it right there at 223.
You're going off VWAP.
Yeah.
Nah, what are you doing? I hate to add down here, but tempted.
Is anyone else getting war news fatigue?
Right. That's a good way to put it.
I was going to say chip sector fatigue.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, like everything's like, oh, AI, this is great. And you're like, cool. Maybe we should buy right here. And then there was like a dump, and that's what I'm worried about on a day like today, to be honest.
Well, actually, maybe take a moment just to chat about now. So, the now trade. I mean, the bet I'm playing on that in the longer term, it's a 6 to 12 month play, is rotation out of AI, out of stock semiconductors, back into software. So a lot of things have to happen. Rates need to come down. But if I look at the technicals, I've seen a lot of strong signals, which I'll run through a little bit later with the group, maybe do a bit of a presentation one of these days in the week. Just to give everyone an idea of what I'm seeing and the thesis behind it.
Yeah, no, it'd be good.
Let's see if NVDA rolls over again. No trade here.
I want to see it flush down to pre-market lows.
Okay, I don't like adding to a losing trade, guys, but into it, I'm going to add another quarter down here. If this doesn't work out, we break 305, I will dump it, but this is kind of what I was hoping for. break 310, find some footing, and then rally like 15 points.
Yeah, maybe Mark back down to the what 10 was that 1068 somewhere around in there, touching that VWAP and then maybe take it long here. I'm watching, you know, QBTS, Rigetti, QUBT, APLD, everything IONQ. They all look the same now, right? Couple of 3 candles up, and they're now at the top here, wondering what to do. So let's continue to watch.
All right, guys, NBIS I'm going to short here, full share size.
What's
Okay.
the stock?
NBIS.
Oh, NBIS, yeah.
I mean, it looks really nice for a topside breakout, but I've seen it reject 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times at the top. So if it gets above there, fine. I've got my risk 2 points, basically, 2.5 points.
Walmart looking ugly. Nothing grabbing my attention here.
No.
I'm with Justin here, waiting on NVDA to have that pullback. Again, we're under the VWAP, so there's a good chance that if we don't get back over the VWAP, that we could see some further downside here. Market helping that. Market's down 132 on the NASDAQ, 277 Dow.
NVIDIA having trouble now with 224. I think it could be a fake out. Maybe it's just people consolidating the shares for a breakout.
I think most of it's priced in already, which is why I didn't expect it to break. Remember, I said yesterday, I don't expect it to break before earnings. And then, you know, during earnings, we pretty much came back into the range, you know, post earnings on open this morning. So this volatility doesn't surprise me. I typically wait for a day or two after earnings before I decide to trade, you know, to see what the market direction is going to be. And then I'll take the position.
Walmart, nothing but red candles. Anybody on anything other than what we're watching here? I've got NBIS up, NVDA, CRWV, QBTS, Rocket Lab, and then what you're seeing here on the main screen.
NBIS, I could be dumping it here. We'll see. Yep, there's the breakout. I knew better too. I'll wait. Don't trade out in spikes. Here comes into it finally. Nice bounce. Probably shorts covering. All right, NBIS guys, losing trade. Okay.
Okay, here they come. Let's see how far they get down now.
I feel like there's a big seller waiting on the Qs. We're having trouble with the 200 EMA right now. Watching Tesla now, 421. Rolling over here a little bit.
Keeping an eye on NVIDIA.
Yeah, I want to short this thing, man. I mean, it's still above the 200 EMA, so I can't just yet, but still. Maybe 223, I don't know. You're trying to go, you guys want to go long, huh?
Yeah.
I'm short NVIDIA, to be honest. I shorted at the top of pre-market low. Sorry, pre-market high, so 225.08. And I'm playing it down to pre-market low.
Yeah, I do. I think I'm going to go again. Two.
Come on, one more pulse. Let's go. Pre-market low.
Would you take it long now?
I'm going to look for continuation because there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of open interest down at 215. So I could see us hitting 230, 216.34 with ease. So I'll trim 90% of my position, keep 5 runners, run them down to 216, close it out, and then look for, well, that would actually be my move. I'd be done. I wouldn't even run it down to 215. But there could also be a sharp rejection at pre-market lows, so I'd also be looking for that.
At the 220 or so?
216, man. That's the number. That's what I was looking for when I first got in. And
220.88, Scott. I need to see a little bit more strength on the follow through to the downside. It looks like it's going to retest the 9. I've already made my money on this trade, so now I'm just playing with cream.
Okay, QUBT, what do you think there, Mark? Right at the VWAP, 1071. It's not a big trade. It's almost, I hate to say it, it's not even a big enough trade for me. You know, I'm looking at what, making 20 cents?
there's the old saying, "Stay away in May." I don't feel like that's the case.
Yeah.
Feels like people are buying more in May. What the heck's going on here?
Okay. This could be the
Tesla.
push down. On
Tesla looking like a hippo.
Tesla setting up, sorry, not Tesla, Nvidia's looking to do the same. Okay, Tesla's starting to push, looking to test the pre-market low. So now I'm trimming some more of my position.
Okay, watch the Qs, guys.
Yeah,
Q's got a hippo on it now.
Yeah, saw that too.
And a huge bounce now on the Qs. Look at that. Right as I was talking about it, we were like, no.
Nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah, not a hippo. We're going to bring out the rhino.
Yes. Rhino's long, hippo's short.
That's it. We're changing it. No more bulls, no more bears. Just a new zoo.
Tomato.
That's it.
Still liking what I'm seeing on Nvidia here. Short, guys. I want to see us break out strong through pre-market lows. So 220.78. Although Qs are going the other way, so
Yeah, now Qs are ripping.
it starts to change my thesis on Nvidia.
Yeah. Hence the rhino. It looks like a rhino horn. Also known as potentially 3 white soldiers if this pattern continues on a 1-minute chart.
Are you in anything at the moment, DVG?
Yeah,
What are you in?
I've got Intuit long here off the bottom. I'm holding on to. NBIS got wrecked, and then yeah, that's kind of it right now. I'm looking at the cues, maybe setting up a spread here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sitting on my hands. Yeah, that QUBT, good.
Come on video.
I'm gonna look at the options on NVIDIA. I feel like get a good deal on them. Let's see.
Squatting there at that 222.
They're like $3. 222.50. I'll keep an eye on it. Impressive reversal on the cues. The don't quit mentality from the Bulls is
Unbelievable.
absolutely amazing.
Unbelievable.
I'm almost convinced now that like, can it tank the Moso, mother of all sell-offs for sure, but not anytime soon, man. Look at this thing, just ripping.
Imagine when peace is announced.
Well, that ain't gonna happen.
No, I'm just saying hypothetically. Hypothetically, what that would do to the markets.
But I do enjoy those. Like these markets are markets of abundance, which is great. I think it's a saving grace amidst all the nonsense that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
But it cracks me up when markets like move down 1 or 2%. Oh, what a sell-off! What do you think happened? I'm like, a 2%
Profit
sell-off. That's just like that's nothing. We're up like 35%, and it's May. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Today, tomorrow, maybe. I mean, obviously, NVIDIA reported, so maybe not today, but I'm looking out for the mother of all sell-offs. 5% pullback. That's what I'm looking for. But then again, right as I'm saying that, you got Trump coming out going, right now it's time to buy all the stocks you could buy. Right now would be great.
Nothing really getting at me, you know?
Yeah. It's okay to be patient on a day like today. Maybe it's more of an inside day. We just chop in a channel. We're seeing some big moves, but like NVIDIA does look like it wants to give something back and then maybe bounce for the rest of the day.
I'd like to see it push down to 216 and bounce up from there.
Same.
That's actually my target level. 216.34 to be specific. And this might be the push we're looking for. Let's hope.
Once you have bounce on Intuit soon, I'm gonna make some tea.
Even if it's just a fake out to 219.11, and I can
Yeah,
get
exactly. That's what I was hoping for when I got in the first position on NVIDIA, and then it just bounced higher. Kind of like we saw that happen on like MU and a few others. Where I got in a little early. Okay, I'm gonna pick up 2 bundles on the Qs to the downside. 709 strike for tomorrow.
Okay, guys, watch NVIDIA.
Might go 3 or 4 bundles potentially on the Qs if we break.
Q's are
7, 9,
tracking with
10.
NVIDIA, so that's positive. Same with SPY.
China.
Wow, Walmart down to 120. Mark. That's got all kinds of support at 120.
They did guide lower,
Yeah.
to be fair. I think they're making a fuss now about, they picked up the tab for a lot of the tariff inflation,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's like maybe showing up in the numbers. Okay, we're right at that 50% retrace of the pre-market move, top to bottom. So I'm watching this level. I've got 2 bundles on the Qs, the downside puts, 709 strike. And I'm more than happy to grab another bundle up here. We'll wait. Waiting for Intuit still to bounce. Nice little hop on NVIDIA here.
Testing VWAP on the 1 minute.
Look at AAOI now. 223. I'm gonna short NVIDIA. Let's see. I'll get in here. I'll start nibbling here. I don't like the fact the Qs are moving higher though. I'll wait.
Yeah, I'm watching very closely what it does at VWAP here on the 1 minute.
All right, let's build it. Like a little doji here? Sure. Okay, starting to nibble here. 22320. Second chance, maybe. We'll see.
You're going short.
Yeah. We can easily lift higher, but it's okay.
Q's now breaking out. Dow's almost green right now.
Hey, what's up, Christian? Well, right now I'm batting 0%. Except for Intuit. Intuit's looking good now. Probably dollar cost into it. I don't always recommend that, but we're in half share size. If this thing moves basically to about 316, I'll be green on the day.
Yeah, my green just turned red.
I was very tempted on that NVDA trade at 222. Did not take it. Could have had 2 points on it.
And for a long.
Hmm.
Yeah. Come on into it. All right, NVIDIA. You don't want to play nice? That's fine. You know what? I think I'm going to add to my Intuit long here. We can push over 310 again. I'll wait. Tesla would have been the short for my day to be over. It would have been nice, but oh well.
Dow now green. NASDAQ down 70.
Q's hanging on to this 50% retrace from the pre-market high to low move. And if we find footing here, get ready to turn bullish. We'll see. Next few minutes, I think will make a difference. Okay, some interesting tape here. Do I take the rest of what I got and go full levy short right now on NVIDIA?
I've just doubled my position short.
I started with a quarter, willing to add, but right now the bigger, I should say, position is the bundles I have on the queues. So I'm going to add another 10 here. 3 bundles. I call them bundles. That's not what they're really called. They're 10 contracts, but I'll buy them in 10 contract bundles. So I call them a bundle. Here we go. Incredible moves. Here we go. It's going to be fantastic.
All I want is pre-market low. Come on.
Yeah, QUBT now, Mark. That was the one. You're absolutely spot on. All of the trades, QUBT, Art, Rigetti, IONQ, all lifted off here.
Micron's off to the races.
Guys, I'm going to add to Tesla. Or sorry, NVIDIA. I'm looking at Tesla. We'll add to NVIDIA short.
I'm still in my short position on NVIDIA.
I'm adding a little more here to Intuit. Anything under 305 on Intuit, I'll be forced to dump this position, and it'll be a losing day for me. But I want Intuit up and NVIDIA down.
I'm also Palantir short if anyone's interested. I'm looking for 137 down to 135.
Come on, Intuit. 316 to 319 is kind of the target. And I've got a pretty chunky position.
So here we go, guys. Watch NVIDIA.
Yep. NVDA. We got 3 bundles on the Qs, y'all. Short. Let's see if we can get a decisive move. I'm looking for a break under 707. Here comes Intuit. I like it. I hope that that tape fills there. Got an order floating around.
Okay, again, here's the pullback coming back.
This is a decision candle right now, guys.
Yeah, I was
If
just
you look
about
at what
to
just
say.
happened on the Qs,
Exactly. Sharp rejection at VWAP. This is decision time. Up or down. Nvidia's looking heavy.
come on.
I think we're going down.
What an incredible shell off it'll be. It'll be great.
Hippopotamus, come on.
Yeah, that's right. Come on, Hippo. Crash the floor now. Let's go.
Come
Look
on,
at
I
these
want
bundles.
pre-market.
We're
Here we go.
making some dough now on these put options.
Come on,
y'all.
baby.
Big
Yes.
money.
Yes.
Big money.
Boom. Take
I
profit.
know it's tough to root for markets to crash because you know there's implications of that, but you know, traders like you
Okay,
can't-
guys, I'm out of
ups and the downs happen.
90% of my position. I'm out.
What, Nvidia?
No, yeah, I've got 10 runners. So I've made, I made, yeah, 5 figures just on that move.
Nice.
Really good. Where did you went short, right, DVG,
Yeah.
on the Nvidia trade?
Yeah, only thing long right now. I'm into it, which it's contrarian. Part of like, again, I'm reading it unfortunately like a fundamental analysis. Like I actually think, 305 was where I wanted to start the dance, but 310, the logical, next number where we'd probably see price action hit. So I started at 310, added when we got down to 305, 306 area, added again. Now I'm looking to see if we could get above VWAP and actually carry through some, validity. Let's just call it an 8% move. So another 20 points maybe to the upside, which would be amazing, 330, but I'm not going to be holding on that long. I think 316 is realistic.
All right, so other traders like Christian. All right, so Christian, I see you actually asking a question. So what I'd be doing now, if I was going to continue with, so I'd look for a continuation trade to the downside if we break pre-market lows, and I'm going to do this one with you guys. So now I'll switch to 1 DTE on NVIDIA. So I was originally, well, I'm still on 1 DTE, so that's safe. I would look at,
Big break coming. Come on, baby.
I'd probably move to a slower moving option contract. So five days to expiry. Looking at strike of short strikes. So short, we're gonna have to be quick here. 222. You could take 220s as safe. 220s is safe short. Write it down to 216.34.
Might get some support right here at 220 though. We'll see.
It
Yeah.
will. It will. That's the first. So 219.11 is what I have. Green line in the sand. That's where I would trim. So I'd go in with a 100 full share size now, right? In terms of contract. So if your full contract size is 10 or it's 100, I'd be entering with that now. I'd look at price action at 219. Either exit completely and look for re-entry on the pullback at pre-market, and then I go again at full share size and I'll run it all the way down to 216. So those would be my 2 plays on this move.
If you guys want to see what the hippopotamus setup looks like, just look at the Qs. You could argue that's a retest of the session lows, etc., but we've come back to test this area a little too many times, and that's usually when the hippo will jump on the glass floor and break through, kind of like what we saw on NVIDIA.
And Vince, just coming back to yesterday, remember I warned you about that fake out? And then literally, what was it, a minute after we signed off, it literally happened. So I hope that didn't catch you yesterday.
Seeing okay, a low rollover now too. NBIS. Did they put in a new all-time high? Nope, not quite. 233.73. All-time high 224 print though today. Guys, here comes the hippopotamus. There's
There,
the
guys,
new
219.11, 219.11.
new session low. All right, I'm taking some off of my put options here in a minute.
Okay, so just recapping what I said. So I would be out of my position now at 219.11, looking for continuation. Either a
216, man.
pullback to pre-market is a safer entry. But this is looking good, so you could actually enter short now and run it down to 216.
No partials yet, guys. Let's get paid on these bundles. I'm going to probably take maybe 18 of them off to begin with. We'll see. I'm just letting it kind of do its thing. As long as we're staying red, I like this big candle. There's your
Nvidia's
hippo.
still looking, guys, Nvidia's still looking heavy as long as it stays below 219.11. But watch for the retest of the 9 EMA. If we cross price at the bottom, I'd enter.
Whoa,
Forget it.
there it is.
I'll
Test
help you
now.
with the execution. So listen carefully. At the money, 219 or 220 puts on Nvidia 5-day. At the money. Okay,
Okay, traders, I'm going to post a trade here finally. IONQ long, long right here at 58, coming up on it. I'm going to go full share size to start. 57 will be my stop. First trade of the day.
Okay, we're respecting. This is good. Also, watch, bear in mind, time of day. Still looking bearish. Snipers have got to be quick. Christian, do you trade with hotkeys? You absolutely will. I guarantee it. Humbly guarantee it. Okay, for sniping trades, it generally helps to have hotkeys. You've got to be exceptionally quick. Still looking bearish on Nvidia, guys. You can see exactly why I exited my full position size, right? Because now look how it's consolidating with resistance. I want to see a retest of the 9. Even if it flushes up to pre-market, that's even better, and it'll be a stronger entry, especially if they get a strong wick. If I see a wick, I would enter on the second candle at the point of where the wick ended, with downside continuation pressure confirming, because that's the move confirmed.
Tesla. Shoot. As into it, we should get the rip here. I don't care what the market's doing. It's somewhat detached anyways. But from a technical lens, this is the step up. We're seeing some consolidation, tighter consolidation. Either we break lower and I take my stop loss down at 305, or we get that rip to 316, 315 area.
Sitting here at that 219 now on Nvidia, interesting.
Yeah, I'm tempted to take a partial on Nvidia here, but I want 216. I really want to see
59 is my out on IONQ. Just taking it right off the bounce of the VWAP, and that paid off on the QUBT. Hopefully it pays off here on IONQ.
Come on into it. Lower volume stock, but we should get a pop here. There it is, 311. Let's see if we can get to, again, if we get to 316, I really want to see like 319 area. the 200 EMA is up at 318. So this is kind of what I want to see. Like we're having NVIDIA lower, Qs lower, Intuit moving higher. Don't call me Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? Everybody got a plan to get punched in the face. Shout out to one of the greatest. Man, Tesla. What in the world? Guys, watching video, we should get the drop. I'm looking at 217. I'm going to take some off. I'll take a partial. I don't want to be too greedy. Hippo, hippo, hippo. Perfect example of a hippo. Look at Tesla. 421.
Yeah.
Target
keep
one.
Keep
break.
an eye on NVIDIA, guys, too.
And then literally at the close, we bounced. And once we broke that floor, hippo move.
So also just another lesson, guys, especially Christian, it seems you trade very similarly to me. So if you have a look, the reason why I exited is because we were in 1 DTE options, because it was early in the morning, I literally exited. Remember, I don't like to stay in those options longer than 5 to 15 minutes because we need to stay ahead of theta. So right now, if I stayed in that trade, theta would be eating me alive. So I'd have to then add mental fatigue to manage the position so that it stays in profit. Reducing my cost basis simultaneously. That's one way of doing it. The other is to exit simply, right? And wait for the re-entry, which could arguably be right now. So keep an eye on NVIDIA, guys. Qs are following suit, as is SPY. I could see this push down to like I said, 260.34.
You're getting ready to take a partial here on NVIDIA. Any sign of green, I will take some off, but okay, that's good enough. I'll take a partial there. Let the runners do their job. Intuit, I'm still waiting for the rip. And then the bundles, I'm going to wait. We'll see if we get another attempt here at the bottom. There's 706.77 on the Qs. I want to see a 705. Right?
57 break IONQ. I'll be gone.
So Christian, usually if my confidence, and obviously, anyone on YouTube and the rest of the trading room. So typically why I would take a longer dated option now, typically a weekly would be safe because I trust the move. I've got high confidence in the move, but I know it's going to take a bit of time. Also, because of the time of day now, things are going to start slowing down. Volume thins. There's going to maybe be another 1 or 2 moves, but my confidence level of this going down is 70-30. So everything's about probabilities, and of course we're running the numbers and doing the math in our heads simultaneously, literally in every second of every minute of every moment in the day, right? So that's the trader's mindset, is literally focusing on every candle, depending on what time frame you're on. But for execution, I find the 1 minute the cleanest. For positioning, 5 and 15, and then of course for broader structure, we go up into the higher time frames. So looking, for example, right now at NVIDIA, you can see it's literally consolidating here at the 219.11, trying to decide which way the next move is going to go. But because we're below the 9, we're not hyperextended away from the VWAP. VWAP is looking to compress or at least confluence with pre-market lows. So this could actually consolidate to bring the VWAP down to the pre-market low. If that happens, I remain bearish, right? In terms of the continuation potential for an intraday continuation. Not necessarily guaranteed, but given the volatility that we're seeing and because of earnings, the likelihood of it pushing down is very high. So I give it a 70-30 probability of it flushing to, like I said, 216.34. It could even push even lower, guys, because if we look at the, let's have a look here. 212.58. I've got something. Let me just see what I've got marked here. I think that's the 200 EMA. Let me just double check because I don't usually have that on this.
You want to share your screen, Justin,
Sure.
or try?
All right, you guys are going to get to see my ugly mug. So here we go. Okay, let's see if it comes up.
There you go.
Okay, so great, you guys. So you can see if you have a look here,
There you go.
we've got basically the levels I've got drawn up, right? So I just need to see, I can't actually remember what that one is. I'll have to look on the, this is probably coming through from the higher time frame. Looks like the 200 EMA, but I haven't got the 200
There you
set
go.
up. So just coming back to what I was explaining, right? So you can see I took my entry at the top and I literally, my target was 216.34. I saw we got resistance. I actually exited, this is incorrect. I exited
There you
right
go.
there. That was my exit point. And remember I spoke, can you guys still see my camera? Oh, not my camera, my screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. All right. So I literally exited there because I was expecting and I knew there was going to be resistance. Okay. So because I was in a shorter dated
Yeah, I can see
2
it.
DTE, I wanted then to exit
Where does
to get
sources
ahead
say
of
OPEC Plus
theta,
level
to stay ahead of
likely to
theta.
agree
So I look
to
for a
an oil output
re-entry
quota hike of
at a new
188,000 barrels per day.
strike
Where does
of
sources
220.
June
So my strike
7th
originally
meeting?
here on the short was 225, right? Which is also highly liquid. That's why I like at the money, literally for scalping at the money. I'm not so worried about gamma. I'm not so worried about theta because I know I'm ahead of both. Now, if you wanted to do a gamma run, you could, which I think DVG, you were doing it earlier, is another strategy would have been to actually take the target strike that you want to reach. The benefit is that the options are going to be cheaper, but you're amplifying your risk. So your conviction rate needs to be a lot higher that you're going to be successful. I sometimes do that. It just depends on the market conditions, what I'm seeing on the indicators, and the overall sentiment on the day. So you can see right now, my confidence is increasing that this is going to go down even further and hit my target, right? So what I would be doing intraday is I'm busy watching the candles, looking for the impulse that triggers the move, and then I'll enter very quickly and I'll just run it down. Short little 2-point move, 3-point move. And to give you an
LIFE,
example,
bear cave,
using the now trade, actually, maybe we have a little bit of time to run through that. Is that okay?
Yeah, no doubt. Go ahead.
Out.
Okay, so just going back to what we were discussing with the now trade 2 days ago, right? Because both Scott and I traded
Yeah,
this
no doubt. Go
together.
ahead.
He went for the scalp, and I had the decision to go for the scalp or build a portfolio position, right? So I'm building a portfolio position on now based on what I'm seeing in the charts. And DVG, feel free to jump in and chime in. But I've seen a very, let me hide my fib.
Problems at Ethos Technologies, LIFE, that from Bear Cave.
Let's do this. And you can see on the weekly chart, I'm noticing for now specifically. Now, all right, so having a look here, there are so many things to learn from this, okay? So one, we look at weekly volume. We notice it was only Monday and we exceeded the previous week's volume, right? We're way above average on the weekly candle. We got sharp rejection. This was the trade that both I and maybe a few of you also took on the shorter time scale. Let me just draw it out. So what we did, let me go to the 15 and the 5. Okay. So yesterday, you guys will remember, both Scott and I took a trade where we entered in, and maybe a few of you too, here. Do you remember that execution call? And I said we're going to run it up to the high. And then at that point, we said in the chat that you have a decision to make. So I said you have a decision to make. You either exit. If you're scalping, this was your exit point. You'll take profit. And what did it do on the very next candle? It flushed immediately. So that was a winning trade. Now looking at that, that's what, a 3-4 point move, almost 4 point move. So Scott, if he took 1,000 shares as a full size position, he would have had to use 107. Let's see, service now 100. Let's just make it clean and easy. So at 100, he would have had to use 100,000 in capital, right? So the exact same trade on options, right? Do the calculation. What's the return on investment on that trade? Return on investment on that trade, and this is wrong. So what the trade would have looked like in terms of stop losses, right? That's what the trade would have looked like. That's exactly my trade, right? That's the one I took. Now the difference is Scott exited. He took his profit, right? So he walked away. He walked green. He's great. He's happy. I, on the other hand, am building a position, right? So this is portfolio management. This is a mindset set switch from a scalper to trading income to portfolio management, which is obviously investment. So quickly, just coming back to this point, I'm gonna come back to that one.
Spotify,
but I want to
executives
highlight
said
the
over
difference
3% of the
here
world's
in
population
trading
pays for Spotify on a
options,
monthly
right,
basis.
versus
SPOT.
trading with stocks. So let's say Scott would have made maybe, or let's call him Johnny just to be rhetorical, right? So Johnny would have made maybe 3,000-4,000 on a full share size position
Spotify
on that
shares
trade,
spiking to
right?
the highs now,
With a return on investment of
458.73,
what, maybe
up about 5.6%.
close to 2%. But if you traded options at the money here, 0 or 1 DTE, right? 0 DTE carrying far more risk, which is why it's an expert trade. Okay, it's actually kind of savant level trade. If you guys remember when I started, you have to have the mindset. The very first broadcast where I said, you have to have the mindset that you are 99 versus 1, right? So meaning you literally every time you step into the trading room or you sit in the desk, you are literally against every single other trader on earth. And if you have that mindset, you are trying to beat every other trader on earth, right? Now, it's not to say you're transacting with every single one, but the counterparty to the trade is betting against you. So who's going to win, right? And that's the key. The key is to make sure your successes are amplified, but not only amplified, you spend less time in the market. So you guys have noticed, I don't like to spend more than, I'll be honest, 15 minutes to an hour in the market. I can
Spotify
make just the trade I did there, right? And you guys all
nearing
witnessed it live.
50% of the
That was a
population.
5-figure trade.
That's SPOT,
DDG,
Spotify, again,
and Scott, we're talking
up
about
sharply
it,
this
what,
morning.
2-3 days ago, right? If you make 4,500, 5,000 a day in what, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, doing a very highly efficient scalp, guess what? You become a millionaire in a year with ease. So just to highlight that point, an options trade,
Actually,
right, on
their
either 0
Investor Day,
DTE or
report.
1 DTE, this exact same trade, taking the same amount of capital. So taking the 100,000, call it 100,000 that Johnny would have invested, right? Instead of getting 3% on the trade, you're getting 38% just on that one move. That's what financial freedom looks like. Having the confidence. Remember I said discipline is built on small accounts. So once you build up your discipline and consistency, scaling is easy, guys. 500 becomes 5,000, becomes 500,000. Instead of 10
GSA
contracts, you go to 100
One Gov
contracts.
agreement with
And
Snowflake
so
to
on.
accelerate data
But if you stay in highly
adoption, sending
liquid, that's why
Oscar
ETFs,
whiskey.
typically I like to trade these on high beta stocks, ETFs, because volatility is our friend. And volatility is exactly what we look for. So earnings, I don't know if you guys heard it because it was, my mic was muted quite a bit yesterday when I was trying to explain the whole NVIDIA thesis when Scott asked me about NVIDIA. And I said, I don't see NVIDIA breaking through all-time highs yesterday, at least pre-earnings. I also didn't expect it post-earnings because I believe it's already been priced in. I also believe NVIDIA is a $350 stock with ease. No doubt it's going there. Just over what time frame? So, you know, if you have those convictions, you can set up your long-term portfolio or a swing trading account to benefit from those decisions. And so just coming back to my now, is this a little bit too long-winded, Scott, or I could also do
No,
it?
you're fine. You're fine.
Okay. So coming back to the now decision, why I remained in it and now I'm managing the trade, right? Is because the move I'm looking for, I can see now if rotation happens,
you're fine.
peace
You're
prevails, interest rates come down, oil cools, that's what I'm betting on here, right? I'm already seeing on the 1 week candle a slightly ugly, right, inverse head and shoulders developing. I've seen significant volume, right, just on the Monday, first day of this week, exceeding the previous entire week's volume in one day. Okay. So sharp rejection off the 9, off the 20, I beg your pardon. Had I seen that, and I hadn't seen that, had I seen that, I would have taken the scalp trade with Scott. But because I was on the shorter time frame, right, I was sitting here, I completely missed it. Now in my pre-market setup, I should have seen that. But I don't usually chart this my long-term positions on this scalping layout. So it was actually coincidental. I added this after the fact, and it literally presented itself, and I could see it literally clear as day. Once you see that, you know, guess what? This is starting to flatten out, right? The 20 is starting to flatten out, meaning it's finding a base, a range base. So the likelihood that this breaks through or gets retested. So what I'm going to do now is I've set, I don't know if you guys are familiar with collar strategies. So I immediately went at the top here, I sold calls. So I took out covered calls to cover the position. I call it to earn income on the position. So what I did, dropped the calls, sold the calls, earn the income slightly above the level I want to literally my target level. So let's say 115. So I'm earning income even though the prices come down on those calls. But at the same time, even if the price goes back up, I'm going to get 2 bites of the apple. I'm going to get the income off of the sold calls, and I'm going to get the profit, right, that I make on the recovery on the stock itself. There's a third dimension to that trade as well, right? So what I'm also doing is I'm earning income because I'm manually trading down, right, on an intraday basis. I'm scalping now too. So I'm getting more income. And then what I do is I roll that into the now position so that my basis comes down. And then when it pushes up to my target, my ultimate target of 124.71 or 134, that's where I exit fully. And you've basically compounded your returns. But if the thesis and the plays out and is successful, you actually amplify your returns in a significant way.
Super good, right? I mean, it's nice to be able to continue to earn both ways on those type of trades. So awesome.
I wonder if I should just quickly show you the
super good, right? I mean, it's nice to be able to continue to earn
fib levels
both ways on those type of
out.
trades. So awesome.
Okay, so just to explain how I did this, right? Okay, So we can see a nice bounce. So what I did actually, just this morning with the pullback down here, I added to my position. So at the low, 98, because this for me is the line in the sand. If this loses, I'm not going to be happy because it means I'm going to have to work hard on hedging my position. Okay. As long as it holds here and above VWAP, and if it closes above pre-market, I'm confident this remains bullish and will start to recover. You can currently see where my position sits, right? So if I drag it across, right now, I'm technically in profit, but I want to explain how I got here. So you saw we almost hit the full move on my fib extension projection, right? This 100.87 is where Scott likely exited, took his profit, and smiled. So what I did is I held, but I was in a half position size, right? So what I did, when we got to 106, I added 100 shares. We got to 50, I added another 50. We got to 102.94, I added another 50. We got to 100, I added 100. We got down here, and I just added another 100. That's my full position size. Now this is highly risky. I don't usually add in this zone, right? Because it technically, if we lose this level, it means the impulse move, the trend has failed, which would put me in a bit of trouble and I would have to manage the position. But thankfully, I have the skill set to be able to do that. So I'm not too concerned. I'm just using this as a way to explain the different thought psychology between being a day trader, a scalper, and a sniper versus a swing trader, right? And a portfolio manager. I hope that was helpful.
It was for me.
And
Can you
informative.
hear me now, Jonathan or Justin? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, great.
You can share your screen again if you like.
Okay, I'll put it back up here. Okay, traders, go ahead, Justin.
I just want to add, guys, don't ever feel like, you get into a bad trade and you don't know what to do. You might have had like a liquidity grab, you didn't have your stop loss set, and it literally blew through, and you're feeling, overwhelmed, and you're like, what are you going to do now? Do you exit it and you're down 30-40% on an option trade? Do you exit it, re-enter, or do you try to save it? And there are ways to save it. So I like to help traders generally build up their trade averages on successful trades, but also focusing on their ultimate goal, which is profitability on a daily basis. Because that's where the consistency comes in, and that's where wealth generation happens.
And that's what we're all about here, is consistently making that profit every single day. That's what we strive for. And it's important, like I said, the most important thing in trading is survival. You've got to be able to survive to play the next day.
Yeah, it was a great session, Justin. I like it. We're able to look into how others trade. I think that just helps us all, right? Learn something new, maybe a soundbite, maybe a tool, maybe a strategy. So really, really thoughtful there.
Thanks, DVG. I think we've all got so much value to add, not just us, the three of us, but also the rest of the pro kind of training community in the group, right? Everyone has their own philosophy, their own trading style, their own skill sets. But you know what? The reality is, if we're all adding value, it's the law of large numbers. So arguably what I would say is, hey guys, especially in on the YouTube channel, the public channel, share, like, and subscribe. Let's get the word out there, If we're successful, and they're successful, we're all successful. So really just spread the news, right? It's almost like a gospel message in a way, right? It's like spread the good news. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Spread it with your kids. Spread it. The best gift you can give your children is the ability to be able to trade for themselves. The one thing, remember, if jobs are laid off, the one thing you're always going to have is a market, right? Because there's always going to be trade. So do you want to be a worker bee, or do you want to be a capitalist? You can be a $5,000 capitalist and have $1 million account in 2 years with the right guidance and the right coaching and the right mentorship. And that's key. And the truth is, it's available to everyone. You can't believe the lies. You can't believe the propaganda. You can't believe the TV, the news. Don't believe the noise. It's available to everyone. And we're living proof of it.
That's for sure. Trading's not easy. It's usually a solo game, and I think part of the reason Scott and I continue to show up every day is that the community, for me at least, was a big appeal because Mark might have a good post, you might have a good post, Scott might have a good post, and maybe we're it's better to have eyes looking elsewhere. And of course, it's up to you to make your own decision. Right? Cue the disclaimer: it's not financial advice, but ultimately, learning from others kind of helps you understand. Like, hey, should I spend more time learning technical analysis? Should I spend more time learning about options flow? Should I learn about whatever? Fill in the blank. And the beauty of this business, it is an endless opportunity to learn. And I'm sure there's folks even in our community that know, fill in the blank X better than I do. And that's why the community helps, is that, hey, look, if you guys have perspective and it helps provide a shortcut to learning important attributes or aspects or things that have worked that you've back tested potentially, it's all worth sharing.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's really about giving back. It's giving back to the community at large. I mean, we've got a global reach potential in terms of audience. Why wouldn't you want to spread the good news? Why wouldn't you want to spread positivity? Why wouldn't you want to spread, the ability or the potential for people to be set free, to literally be financially free?
I have a answer to that. Is that most people will say they're going to do something one day, versus if you're out there thinking about it, make that one day be today, the day one. And it's the hardest part. Yeah, you're going to stumble. Yeah, you're going to have failures along the way. As long as you don't YOLO your life savings at the first go, you can incrementally build, learn, understand things like, oh, hey, when I see this pattern show up, what does that typically mean? So, yes, there's curriculum and things like that out there, but part of it is literally just having your own self-driving, motivating force to go, hey, look, I want to learn something that if, God forbid, to your point, I mean, Meta just laid off 8,000 people. Like high-paying salaries, too, like 250K type jobs. 8,000 people, poof, gone. How are they going to make an income? Can they go work somewhere else? Sure. But we're seeing that across, a lot of the tech sector is AI, Claude, whatever. Some of these programmers are getting replaced by the code because once you put guardrails and parameters, you can kind of run and operate autonomously. So what does that mean? Well, you got to learn a new skill. If you've been a programmer for 20 years, I'm sure there's folks out there, and I'd love to get a perspective if we have any that were impacted by stuff like that. But what do you end up doing? Do you become a plumber? Do you, start a restaurant? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So learning skills just along the way, I think, is something that back in the day you kind of had to, right? Like you had to, if I know there's a weird thing about, the man of the house, whatever, but you had to know how to fix stuff, I feel like that's not as prevalent. Maybe I'm just an old soul. I don't know, but part of just life in general is continue to learn, continue to grow, and then ideally have a skill that you can make money off of. Well, I don't want to say I fell into trading, but I was always investing and trading and trying to figure it out because I was curious. And then I realized, like, wow, I can actually make a ton of money doing this, more than I make in a day job. And I was making really good money in a day job. And it's like, okay, well, what if, for a while you could do both, just normal. But as long as you're learning and not just, taking pot shots and going, hey, if I land this, worst case, I only lose 50% of my roll. Like, no, you can't. Risk mitigation and risk management is a key component there. But you could definitely do this. Like, some people have asked, like, hey, how are you able to trade, have a job, do this stuff? It's like, well, you make things a priority. Like, even if it's, hey, let me trade for an hour, or if you there's folks out there now. There's so many ways you can learn trading prop firms. You can do it with. There's so many places to learn, but learning doesn't mean just going and clicking on a couple buttons, guessing. Like, you got to have at least some contextual going, hey, here's where I'm planning to get in. Here's where I'm planning to get out. Let's see if the trade plays out. If it doesn't, there should be a reason, not just guesswork, right? But that's what you have the 44 Trading Nation for, is you have folks that are sharing that thought process.
So just to add to what you were saying, I couldn't emphasize it more. Exactly everything you're saying, DVG, I echo those sentiments. I'd go one step further to say, typically what I do, especially what I used to do with beginners, is I would suggest picking one stock, getting to know that stock, right? Or SPY, for example, is an ETF, and just focus on that stock. Understand how it behaves. Understand how news catalysts affect the stock itself. How do the macro, how does the macro environment affect it? Look at the fundamentals. Then bring them down to the technical side of it, and then start showing them how to use charts and how to read candlesticks. On the beginner side, obviously, it takes a lot more effort in terms of getting the beginner to where they need to be. But my heart is literally across the spectrum, both for beginners, advanced traders, experts, and what I call elite and savant level traders. And I like to pretty much have a solution for everyone across that spectrum. And so what I would usually do is marry them to a single stock or a single ETF, have them understand fundamentals, understand news catalysts, give them basic technical training and understanding, and then obviously, build them up to the point where they can understand structure, broader market structure, setups, and, from structure down to setups to execution.
Traders, those of you that are in the IONQ trade, as I posted this, we are starting to roll now. Target's going to be 59. We have about 65 cents, 63 cents of profit built in here. So we'll just continue to watch this. Again, I'm going to be out at 59, taking the profit here. I'm full size to start the trade, so I did not add. So we'll watch this here. I'm going to take off right at 11 o'clock here in just a couple of minutes as well.
I'll be in the same boat.
So you're having a look at Palantir, what we said yesterday. That golden line, 139.
Yeah.
Yep. 134, 137, 139, then it's 144.
Yep, Jay, excellent. 139 coming up.
Well, I still have some of the bundle left on the queues. We took a partial. Justin, I appreciate you sharing the thoughts. Scott, good to see you, team. I'm punching out for the day, but appreciate y'all. And we'll see you guys tomorrow at the Open. Cheers, God bless.
Take care, you too, DVG.
Yep.
So Vince, if you're going to play to take profit at 139, I'd exit at 138, 138.90. So just before, like 138.90 or 138.85. Don't run it up to 139. Also bearing in mind the overall target on Palantir for me, the line in the sand, is 144. If you want, I can quickly share that chart if you guys would like, if anyone's interested. Okay, great. Scott, do you mind?
No, go right ahead.
I actually hoped DVG would be on for this part of it because I would love to hear his thoughts. Okay, so, and also because of the patterns, but here we go. Let me just get out of this. And let me clean this up. Just so you guys can see it more clearly. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to share my screen, guys. Okay, so if you have a look at Palantir, right, we've got a horrible descending channel on the weekly time frame. Okay. Now this channel, I just drew this morning, actually tightened up, and that's what this yellow descending
Wall Street Journal
ray
reported
is,
U.S.
right?
clears
Because it's actually literally
scrap
tightened
dealer
up.
to buy ships
So
sanctioned
what you'll
for Iran
notice
activity.
is every time price reaches.
Wall Street
Sorry,
Journal
I've got
reported U.S.
Benzinga
clears
and
Kansas City
in the
scrap
background.
dealer
Okay.
to buy ships
So
sanctioned
I'm
for
gonna
Iran
quickly just
activity.
remove this.
9 versus 10
Right.
in
So
April.
sorry, guys, I've got Benzinga going. Mute
Wall
this.
Street Journal reported U.S. clears Kansas City scrap dealer to buy ships sanctioned for Iran activity. 9 versus 10 in April. Wall Street Journal reported U.S. clears Kansas City scrap dealer to buy ships sanctioned for Iran activity. 9 versus 10 in April. Wall Street Journal reported U.S. clears Kansas City scrap dealer to buy ships sanctioned for Iran
I don't think
activity.
that's
9
my
versus
Benzinga. Someone
10
else's
in
Benzinga.
April. Wall Street Journal reported U.S. clears Kansas.
Sorry, guys, I had major feedback. I'm just going to try and source what the issue is. I'll come right back with the Palantir. Just give me a second. I'm getting a horrible buzz. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. Okay, so coming back to Palantir, what we've got here on the higher time frame is this descending channel, bearish channel, which I don't like. Right now, what I see forming is potential range in this area between 129.40 and 144. Now, I've modified this, right, based on, because the market's pretty much geometric, okay? Okay. Yeah, that I was having the same problem, Clifton. That's why I bummed out and I came back in hoping it would resolve it. So I'm gonna continue unless the audio's too bad, but I'll continue. So if you have a look, this is actually tightened up now, right? So this descending channel of resistance has tightened up. So what I'm looking for is this confluence, right? So if you look, the red line is the 20 EMA, okay? So basically price keeps getting rejected at the 20 EMA on the weekly candle. So trade ideas, right? You can see at my level here of 144, price, what I'm projecting is that the EMA is going to reach 144 within the next 2 to 3 candles. So within the next week or two, and it could happen in a day or two too, but certainly within the next week or two, I'm forecasting Palantir will reach 144 and potentially push up to 146, okay? Ideally, for this to be bullish, I would want to see a break in structure. And a break in structure of candles outside of this descending channel. Then I'm bullish to say that Palantir will reach very quickly 170, 168.45. That would be my next target line. So just to give you guys an idea, I'll actually map that as a line of resistance. Now, I'm getting a lot of feedback, so I want to progress to the lower time frame, but I actually can't, not with this noise. So I'm just going to execute. Scott, are you still with us? You know what, guys, let's do that. Tomorrow morning, I'll do maybe at 9 a.m. I'll come on a bit earlier. And for those of you who would like to, I'll do a run through on Palantir. And what I may also do is give you some ideas on the trades that I'll be looking at on the day, specifically on the stocks. And you can decide whether you want to take those trades or not. Would that be helpful? Because remember, it's all about precision execution. I pre-plan my trades every morning so that when it happens, I execute. And that gives me additional confidence to know I'm in the right. Okay, guys, we'll see you at 9 a.m. Scott, I'm going to sign off. I'm getting really bad audio feedback, so I'm gonna call it a day. God bless everyone. Hope you have a good time, a good day today. Hope you finish off in the green, and we'll see you tomorrow.